Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Episode 117 up and running. We are live. What's going on, man?
Holy calabasa. We're live. I mean, it's 117 already. All right, let's start this with some sense of organization. I'll give you an idea of what you guys are up here for. Since if you just click, thank you for the click. We're two bald guys in our 40s trying to catch up with what's going on with the world. What do you have on your end of the world, Jason?
Today, I wanted to talk about what's going on in Texas, actually. There is an issue that's going on at the Texas border, basically. The state of Texas versus the federal government. What's going on your side?
I picked up Miss Japan is from Ukraine. Have you heard of the cha-cha here in the Philippines? That whole issue about cha-cha?
There's an issue with cha-cha?
I'll talk about it later. And there's also another issue with, some road rage and the double yellow line. So a little bit of discrepancy on some, road rules. You got the intro ready?
I do have the intro ready. We're going to get this going. All right. Check it out. Two guys from two sides of the world. The Flip Side with Jay and Noel. Catch us live every Wednesdays and Sundays, 6:30 a.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Philippines. Now, your hosts, Jay and Noel.
Alrighty then. Now, listen, before you ask me the most dreaded question of the week.
Okay. Well, what is that most dreaded question?
Me. It's like, hey, Noel, so how was your week? I'll tell you how my week is before you even ask. I'll tell you what, when it rains, it pours. So here on my right side, the iMac is still not fixed. I apologize for all you nerds out there that are feeling bad for how it's not working.
It's a $1,500 paperweight.
And this one right here, you know what this is, right?
Jesus, what the heck happened?
My flip-flops just slowly deteriorated.
No kidding.
First, the back end started falling off, right? So there's like a hole.
God.
That was like 3 days ago.
Yeah.
Okay. And then about yesterday, and I was like, oh, it's going to make this on the podcast. This broke off.
How is that even possible?
So this is my little graveyard of things that are not working on my right side right here.
Jesus Christ.
It just started deteriorating. I mean, that's what you get for 100 pesos slippers. Like the rubber just
It doesn't matter how much you paid for your slippers. One, how does the heel end up breaking that much? Look at it. It's literally rubbed off.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Isn't it? Yes, and it's like there's
that's what I want to ask. Why is there a hole right in the middle?
And this one,
and that I can understand.
Totally, but because I'm right-footed, I guess I stomp on the floor.
Jesus, you got heavy feet. That's what that is.
Maybe that's how. I got sharp heels.
Yeah. So that's insane.
That's what I got this from the Talipapa like 2-3 years ago. So that's it. That's my week. When it rains, it pours.
It pours. It's been kind of in my side of the world. Actually, I live in Virginia. For those of you guys just tuning in.
Wait.
What?
Yeah, dude. No. I let you finish your sentence, but I couldn't help myself seeing. I saw a fire truck like sliding.
Yeah.
Literally like.
Yeah, that's actually, I think that was in Pennsylvania. I'm not sure, but I know which one you're talking about. Yeah. So the entire eastern seaboard has been getting quite a freeze, right? But it's a little frustrating. People are getting sick because about a week ago, we got like 2-3 inches of snow. It got cold. And then a couple of days ago, it was like 70 degrees, where I was literally walking around in shorts and flip-flops. And then now it's like 40 degrees again. It's insane. I hate it because people are getting sick and whatever. If you haven't gotten a flu shot, go get it just so you don't get sick. All right.
The temperature change is crazy.
Right.
up and down. But I'm curious about the ice on the ground though. Is that a normal thing? Like when it snows, there's ice, or is there something special that needs to happen in the weather for the ice to be that crazy?
It has to be really really cold. First of all, and then
Yep.
what happens is there's a lot of leftover ice that are compacted and whatnot when
Oh,
cars are driving over it. So
oh,
the bottom part gets so compact on the ground that it generally freezes quicker and it creates like black ice. Black ice is frozen ice that looks black and shiny. It looks wet. It looks like regular water, but it's actually frozen.
because of the compact ice.
Yeah, and it generally starts from that,
Ah,
but in general, because of the cold weather. Typically, it's because of the wind chill. You know,
all
if the
right.
winds are so high and so cold and strong that God, it hurts on your face basically.
Listen, I apologize for interrupting, but is that what you wanted to talk about? Is that what you were saying on your side of the world?
Yeah, basically it. The weather has just been really crappy and whatnot. Because like I said, 2 days ago, I was walking around in shorts and flip
Mm.
flops. I don't get it. This is why I know I'm about to get sick too because I can feel my throat itchy since last night. Yeah, I don't know.
All
And
right.
my remedy on that, real quick, real quick. Do you guys ever do this? So we always buy different kind of flavors of cough drops, right? With Halls. Okay.
Mm, mm,
I'll grab like a handful of each flavor because they're all wrapped the same way,
mm.
and it's like a surprise on your own. When I need a cough drop, I'll grab I'll grab it from my pocket, and I'm like, oh, it's a different flavor. Nice. Just say. It's just like a little thing that I do in my. I know it's so stupid and nerdy. Whatever. Anyway, go ahead.
Can we act like two grown men and talk about like relevant, important things that other people might find important aside from
Okay.
my broken computer, flip flops, and the weather?
Sure, sure, sure. So, before I get to what I really wanted to talk about in regards to Texas, it's kind of relating to what we've put on hold for quite a while. Well, actually, you know what? Let me do this first, if I can, okay? How far is Las Piñas from your place?
I am in Las Piñas, like 0 kilometers.
Bro, somebody I got a Facebook message warning notification yesterday
Uh,
that there was an unauthorized attempt to log in on my Facebook account. Somebody was trying to hack my Facebook account.
oh, I wanted. That's interesting. I wanted to tell you that when I logged in to one of the browsers yesterday, when I was trying to log into StreamYard,
Yeah.
I don't remember why. But wait, why are we talking about this now all of a sudden?
No, just real quick, if I can.
That
It's in my
that was
head.
me. That was me.
No, to my personal Facebook.
I think that was me. That's what I mean. So I was doing something yesterday. I don't remember what it was. I clicked on the browser or whatever. Oh no 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 no. Right. So StreamYard, right? There's this automatic login.
Yeah.
Usually it just logs me in automatically. And then
Right.
yesterday I clicked on it and it gives you choices login via, Apple ID, Google,
Right.
or
Right.
Facebook. I clicked on Facebook.
Right.
Facebook popped up and your account popped up. I swear to
That's
God.
why. Because it was so weird. Because I was watching my son's wrestling thing yesterday, and then I got a notification from Facebook saying that somebody from Las Piñas is trying to log in. I'm like, what? Change your
Yeah.
password. So I'm like sitting there for like 10 minutes changing my password and all that stuff. And then I had to log out of all the Facebook stuff on all my gadgets
Yeah.
and my computer. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh man, you asswipe.
Yeah. No. I didn't do that on purpose. And I think I just forgot to tell you. I wasn't like whatever. But that's the
I
thing.
know.
So I was trying to log into to StreamYard,
Yeah.
and automatically that Facebook choice came up, and
Mm.
that's what matter of fact, oh, there it is. I don't
Don't
think you
log in
want.
again. I don't want
No,
to
no,
change
no.
my passwords
No, no, no.
again.
No. So that's the thing. I clicked on log in, and then it said like it's like a two thing authentication something something. So we'll
Right.
send the code somewhere else. And then I was like, screw that. I'm not gonna ask Jason what his OTP is. And So I just logged in my own. What did I do? I don't remember how I logged in, but I just had to log in manually.
Yeah, you log in through our Facebook account,
No,
the
no, but
show page one Facebook account.
didn't that happen also for another like online streaming account before?
Netflix.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know
So
why it's crossing like that. I don't know. I think it's because that we're doing this live and the IP address are mixing or switching. I don't know.
maybe.
Yeah.
So, but here yeah, I sent you the screenshot of what I saw yesterday. I was alert enough. I had the presence of mind enough to take a screenshot of it, but I
Right.
forgot to tell you that it happened. Sorry, but yeah, the interesting thing about it was that your password was on the login page, and then it just said like we sent you another.
Are you serious? It was on your page?
I sent you a screenshot. That's exactly what I
Let me see.
did. Are you looking at it? So it's
Hold
got
on.
the email and the password.
What? How
Yeah.
is this possible? This is messed up. This is really like confusing to me.
So if you guys are just catching up, a few months ago, this same thing happened. I don't remember how or why, but then my girlfriend here logged into Netflix on her phone, and then it said, "Welcome back, Jason."
Right.
And then we're like, "Oh, we got a free account."
Bastards.
So yeah, I don't know what's going on.
I don't know, but that's kind of interesting though.
So
Anyway.
it's actually a good thing that you have a two-factor authentication thing
Right. Right. It just
because yeah,
freaked me out because I was like, what the hell?
it literally just served it up, and I said, "Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, I'll log in through Facebook." And then when I logged into Facebook, it said Jason, and then I'm
Oh
said,
my
"Mm,
god.
"Okay, Jason." So,
So as soon as I got the
I mean,
authentication, I told him change my password.
I mean, why will I log in as myself if Jason is already there, hook, line, and sinker? Right? I mean, like, what difference does it make? I'll just log in because it's the
Yeah.
same StreamYard account anyway. So I logged in, and it said, "We sent you a two-factor authentication on your other device. Click if this is you, or give the code or whatever." And I'm like,
I don't know what it is. I think
so the
I don't
word
know.
there
I'm gonna
for
have to figure it out.
the word there for me was paasa naman to. Like you're getting my. It's like this browser Chrome just got my hopes up. I thought I was in already.
I think I need to delete all my caches and all that stuff. I haven't done it in a while.
The question is, how does it even get to my side of the world?
I don't understand. I think it has something to do with the fact that we're doing live together all the time right now. Like right now. It has something to do with the IP address. I'm telling you. You know what I mean?
Potato, and
Yeah.
there's cache and there's caches.
Okay. So moving on. Listen, we've been kind of holding back on this for quite a while, and this kind of relates to what I want to talk about. Some months ago, there was a mention of how local municipalities in the Philippines practically govern their own areas, right?
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. They of course they govern their own areas. Yeah. Sure.
So, because the reason I asked that is like, how is it with you were talking about before that each county, I guess, or municipality, is it called municipality?
City.
Cities. Okay. They govern themselves separately. Now,
Mm.
is that in a way dealing with everything like health insurance, government policing, and whatnot? Is it all separate per city?
Wait. So run the question by me again. It's running a little too slow. I'm on Windows.
Okay, so local municipal governments, basically. When I think it was because there was a border issue with regards to a school before you were talking about that, and then you had mentioned that that's basically how it is as well. Where when if you live in a certain area, you get free health insurance. Is that right?
Yeah. More specifically, Taguig was offering. No. Manila, Makati specifically is known for offering like free school for all their kids, elementary, high school kids. and then there's like a school that crossed over to Taguig, and then they had like this whole issue about like, well, so what are we gonna do with the kids now? And it's
Yeah.
supposed to be taken care of by Makati. Yeah, so that's kind of where we started off that topic. Right, right.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so is that what you're trying to say? That yes, each city has their own benefits for living there.
Mm-hmm. So
Is that
it's
a
like,
question, or you want
yeah,
me to elaborate on it?
that was just a question that I had, basically, in
Okay,
regards to that.
so the one in Makati that I'm aware of, so they got free school for Makati residents,
Right.
more or less. I mean, I could be butchering it, but more or less. And then there's also free like hospitalization or
Mm-hmm.
medical care. For us here in Las Piñas, what I'm aware of, we have this thing called like a green card. We also have like free hospitals, free, etc., etc. But they have their own, like it's their own benefits. So it's
Right.
their way of enticing you to live here.
Right.
Yeah, I mean for each city.
That's kind of interesting, but I kind of see how, in a way, you can definitely tell which is a good city because
Yeah,
of how it's being managed and whatnot.
yeah, and
Yeah.
then the benefits or how they take care of the senior citizens, for example, or whatnot.
Right.
Just my quick 2 cents on that topic, by the way, about different cities taking care of themselves and
Right.
not each other. Like one of the ideas is, for example, um, let's say we were at the I was overhearing like a complaint about like let's say one person against another person at the city hall not too long ago, about a month ago,
Mm-hmm.
when we were there paying for some like city barangay clearance or police clearance or something like that.
Right.
Anyway, so we were doing our business, but we can also overhear like there's a complaint about one person from Las Piñas is complaining about someone else. So now that someone else from another city like Quezon City was summoned to come to Las Piñas to answer the complaint.
Mm.
Comes over, and basically the Las Piñas lawyer says, "Well, go get your own lawyer. You're not gonna get one from here because you're not
Right.
from here." It's like public attorney's office kind of thing, probably. But the whole idea is like you live there, your city will take care of you, and then when you come here, bring your lawyer with you, something to that effect. But basically, it's like there's this whole, you know, we're from here and we take care of our own kind
Right.
of thing. And then like
Right.
yeah, so the complaint is here in Las Piñas, so the attitude is kind of like it's like the same thing. If I have a complaint about somebody else, if I go to their place, it's their territory basically. Then
Right.
I'm at the losing end if I'm complaining in their city versus to make them come here kind of thing.
Right.
Does that
Right.
answer
Right.
your question, or does
Yeah.
that make it more confusing?
No, no, no. It definitely answers it and whatnot, which just makes things clear, and it kind of relates to what I sent you a message yesterday. There's this huge, 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 huge issue that's going on in Texas right now.
Before you go there, just one last quick thing. The one that frustrates me real quick. There's anytime there's a border, and we talked about this about Taguig and Makati
Right.
already. I mean, I alluded to it, but like here in Las Piñas versus Muntinlupa, for example, the border. Let's say let's say there needs a stoplight. Like there's like two couple of intersections
Right.
right on the border of Muntinlupa and Las Piñas. Let's say
Mm.
they need a stoplight. They need a stoplight. It's a major intersection, and in my opinion, let's say there needs a stoplight, or let's say there's a like a hole in the ground. There's a
Mm-hmm.
pothole.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna take 10 years for them to fix it or to put up a stoplight because it's like that's your city. No, that's your city. That's your responsibility.
Right.
No, that's your
Right.
responsibility. So they're like can't like really put blame on whose jurisdiction it is
Well,
because it's like right on the
that
border.
boils down to budget, though. You know.
But it's always like whenever there's a shady part of town, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion, whenever there's a shady part of town, it's usually because it's like right on the border of between two different cities.
Right. Right.
Again, if there's a stoplight that's not working, nobody wants to fix it. There's a pothole that nobody wants to fix. Either it's elections coming up or or it's in the border of between two cities. Just like, no, that's your problem. No, that's your problem.
Right. So
That's my little
what's
rant.
you know what? Before we move on to this, let's why don't we talk about real quick and mention real quick today's millennial word of the day.
Millennial word of the day.
You got me interested in how it's going to segue into Texas.
Now, today's millennial word of the day is ghosting.
Is this going to segue into Texas after this?
Not really.
None. It's just a quick commercial break.
It's just a quick commercial break with no relation whatsoever to the next one that we're going to talk about. But ghosting, by Urban Dictionary, it means when somebody cuts you off completely. You know what I mean?
What's the difference between ghosting and canceling someone?
Oh. Do you guys know the difference between ghosting and canceling?
Yeah.
I don't know. Because, I mean, it sounds the same.
I have heard of the term like, oh, she's ghosting. But I think ghosting sounds more if it's sort of an intimate sort of relationship or a close relationship. But when you cancel someone, it's like being a fan and a celebrity, maybe.
Yeah. Or trying, but what I don't get is when they say trying to get somebody canceled. Not sure exactly what that means. Are you trying to like get them to be unpopular, or are you talking shit about them? I don't know. You know, it's kind of it's weird. Although ghosting, I think you're definitely right. It has something to do more in an intimate kind of setting type of thing. You know, it's basically when somebody cuts you off or cuts off all communication without explanation, literally vanishing into thin air like a ghost.
Right. So canceling would be like, exactly why I'm not talking to you. Ghosting is like,
that could be it. Yeah.
What did I do? What happened?
Right. I don't know. That's a good question, though. If you guys know, especially TikTok, tell me what's the difference exactly between ghosting and canceling. Let me know if no one else is right. I think he's right in that one because I'm not sure. I've never really used any of them.
I'm only basing it from like what I hear and what I've heard, but I've hardly used those words because I don't really like. There are other words for me to use, so I try to keep away from those millennial words in fear of using them the wrong way.
I don't like the idea. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
Based on feel, I'm just feeling it out.
I do like ghosting. I mean, the how they're phrasing ghosting, you know, and by definition of it. Okay, it makes sense to me. You know, the last word of the day, which was fire, is not bad as well. The first one I'll never understand, which was bet. I'll never get to it. I'm never gonna use that term, probably the way they put it out right now. But whatever. That is today's word of the day.
Hold on. Before you click that extra word of the day, ghosting, yay or nay?
Nay. No. I'm sorry. Yay. Yay's good. Yay's good.
Millennial word of the day.
So, Texas versus the federal government. If I can, let me share this guy Gen Kimura. Basically, he actually lives in Texas as well, and this whole situation has escalated. Just to get a quick backdrop real quick for you especially, this all started between Texas and the federal government last year, late last year actually. It's because Texas installed razor wires. If you know what razor wires are?
No idea.
Okay, it's like the same kind of wires, the big wires that are circular like that, that is being used for I don't know, prisons, maybe.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Like all around the state.
So they installed these razor wires in a 30-mile span of the U.S. border in Texas and Mexico. It's basically near the Rio Grande. Okay,
Oh, okay.
Grande, Rio Grande.
Okay.
Anyway, so these wires are freaking brutal. There's a reason why they use these in prisons. Obviously, as you can see, that thing will kill you.
Yeah.
You get sliced the wrong way in that, you are bleeding to death, which is exactly is what happened last year. There were some illegal immigrants from Mexico trying to hop the border through the Rio Grande, where that particular area where they put all these wires in, right? There was a mother and a daughter that got caught. Basically, they got stuck on the wire. They bled so much that they passed away. They died right there and then.
Oh no.
Yeah. Because of that, President Biden issued a federal order to the state of Texas to take out those wires, to take out these wires, and basically open up a section of that particular border, and then they can create and set up a proper crossing for legal immigrants or whatever. You know what I mean? State of Texas, the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, basically, after he ordered to install the razor wire, like I said, a mother and a daughter who were illegal immigrants got caught and dies. President Biden orders them to take it down. The governor says, hell no, not going to take it down. We are protecting our borders. That particular section of that border of why they installed all of those wires, on average, there is over 3 million illegal immigrants that goes through there every year.
Wow.
Or at least attempt to. Not everybody's successful. You know what I mean? Texas is a huge state. It's the second largest state in the country. That border right there, they don't have enough people to actually protect that border and guard everything. It's just impossible. That's why they installed all of these, right?
I was about to say, right. Yeah. Is it
Right.
cheaper?
So Governor Abbott is saying, no, we're not going to take it down. It's working. We are going to protect and control what's the situation with the illegal immigrants and so forth and so forth. Federal government is issuing orders left and right saying that you got to take it down. You are breaking a federal order or a federal law by not following these orders. Now, Texas, as everybody knows here, is a Republican state. It's a red state. Okay?
Bro.
Yeah.
I hate to interrupt your rant, but do you mind turning down your mic just like one notch?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
Because I don't want. Otherwise, it's going to force me to talk a little more than you do.
Yeah. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what's ending up happening is all of these other red states are saying, don't follow it. Don't follow that order. We got your back. We're going to protect you. Now, federal government has started sending these guys over to cut the wires down. Okay. And then all of a sudden, the Texas National Guards go over and say, hey, don't cut that down. We have a Supreme Court backing that's telling you you're not allowed to cut that down right now.
Right.
So this guy is actually, let me explain to you how share this to you as well, where this guy is saying the severity of the situation has gotten to be out of control. Okay. Let me share this real quick. And then, oops. I'm so sorry. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear it. Oh, what's going on?
Sounds rough already. No, can't hear anything.
To look like a civil war
Oh,
between
there.
Texas and the U.S. The Texas
Gonna
governor
start
is
over.
going against federal this footage from the Texas border because it's starting to look like a civil war between Texas and the U.S. The Texas governor is going against federal mandates to protect and defend Texas from the southern invasion of migrants. And even though federal border patrol has been going around removing wires set up by Texas, the governor has now mobilized the Texas National Guard to set up even more. So now for the
Wow.
first time ever, there's a border standoff between the U.S. and Texas. And what's interesting is that Texas
So it's literally a border standoff between the U.S. and the U.S.
Right. And then in the meantime, like on the sides, like the Mexicans are like, okay, let's go.
right. That's exactly what I'm thinking. It's like a good opportunity.
You be quiet,
used to be an independent state. And as someone from Texas, you see a lot of Texas flags, and some probably want it to still be a country. And this border situation may be what tips it over. Because a few weeks ago, when 3 migrants drowned while trying to cross the Rio Grande River, the Supreme Court granted a request from the Biden administration to remove these wires set up by Texas to allow immigrants to cross the border
Look at
safely.
that.
And now the situation is escalating because the Texas National Guard is setting up fences so these federal border patrol agents can't cut any more wires. The Texas governor is blaming Biden for relaxing on immigration and not performing his constitutional duties to execute immigration laws enacted by Congress. And so for the first time in 70 years, a state governor is defying the authority of the federal government, not just with words, but with implications of force. So if the Texas governor is able to persuade the Supreme Court that states should have a greater role in border access, it could have an unprecedented shift in how U.S. borders are controlled in the future. Or a civil war could happen between Texas and the U.S. I'll be following this story in my newsletter this.
So it's gotten so bad that the National Guards from both sides are basically being deployed and whatnot. And I don't know. It's a scary idea, because I kind of see where both sides is coming from. But at the same time, I'm like thinking the presidential administration right now has kind of relaxed on the issue of illegal immigrants in the U.S., the border crossing as well, And
Wow.
I didn't know this as well, so I dug up a little bit of digging here. I did a little bit of digging. Basically, Texas, for some period of time, was actually a country on its own. From like 1836 all the way to 1846. So for 10 years, it was a country on its own.
I thought that was a joke. So that's for real, huh?
Yeah, it's for real, for real. I did not know that, But it was a country, I think, that was Texas is derived from Spain. I don't know exactly the meaning of it, but it was it was controlled by Texas and then Mexico as well. And I did not know that for 10 years it was a country on its own. As it stands right now, the second largest state in the country. It also has the second largest economical structure in in the U.S. right underneath California. But it has the largest military, support than any other state that's out there. And plus, with the way of the free will to carry weapons or guns over there, it's like, whatever. But although it does seem like they have an image of being a little bit too rowdy and like rambunctious, meaning like, oh yeah, what's up? I'm carrying my gun no matter what. I've actually been to Texas.
Yeah, there's a famous saying in Texas about everything being big, right?
Yeah, and it's true. I kid you not. Years and years over a decade ago, before I moved here, I actually spent time in Amarillo, Texas. All right. I walked into this little diner. I kid you not. I was afraid for my life at first. I stopped over this little diner in Amarillo, Texas. As soon as I walk in, and it's literally a scene from a movie where you walk in, there's like a little bell, like ding, from the door. Everybody in this little diner, heads turned, looking at me.
Oh, it's Tiger
Yeah.
Woods.
No, some guy at the bar.
Uh.
Oh, it's an Asian man. Yeah, hi. Can I eat here? Is that okay? I don't know why I didn't walk around and turn away because I was nervous after hearing that. But surprisingly enough, everybody was so nice. They were like asking me, "Oh, what brings you into our small town?" Yada yada yada.
Yeah, I was about
And
to ask. So, did you feel at all? And I guess you just answered it. But yeah, did you feel at all that you weren't welcome there?
at first, I did have that feeling of fear for my life. To be honest
Mm,
with you, I thought I was gonna
mm,
get
mm,
stoned or hanged or whatever.
mm, mm,
But sitting there, and it was literally a diner from a movie scene where there's an old lady behind the diner wearing her diner uniform and whatnot. A
mm, mm,
guy sitting down, a couple of old guys sitting down to my right wearing cowboy hats,
mm, mm,
and
mm, mm.
everybody was just nice. They were curious about me, but in a nice way. They were like, "Oh, where are you from?
Right.
What brings you into town? Are you just passing through?" Yada yada yada.
That's
And
awesome.
yeah, and then I was asking, where can I am going to stay here, but I don't know where to stay yet. And they literally suggested a room for rent type of thing down the street. I
So
rented it.
you didn't feel any racism, them being racist or anything
No,
like that.
no, which was actually, I'll be honest, it was a huge surprise.
Right. But
This was
someone
in,
actually said, "Oh, an Asian."
yeah, somebody did say that. So I was like, what the F? And I was like,
Uh,
should I walk around or walk away? But I didn't. Luckily, I didn't, you know, and
uh,
it was a small town where they were telling me, okay, you can stay here, and there's also a grocery next door to it, yada yada, where you can buy stuff. When they say everything's big in Texas, everything is big in Texas. I think I ordered. There's no sizes. First of all, on this menu, okay, I ordered a sampler that came with pancakes and coffee. First of all, the plate is enough to feed like two people. The
mm,
pancakes were ginormous. The
mm,
hams were like thick as hell. And then I went to the store to buy a soda. I've never seen a 3-liter bottle of Coke at that time. And that was what, in the year 1999, I think. 1999 or 2000. Yeah.
There's an article here that popped up. In Texas, everything is bigger. When Texans win, they win big.
Oh,
And when
yeah.
they lose, it's spectacular.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised at all.
And then
But
if you a little history here for you, if you really want to learn the attitude of how to handle risk, losing and failure, go to
Mhm.
San Antonio and visit the Alamo.
yeah, yeah. But the whole idea of Texas once upon a time being a country on its own, and
Mm,
with this situation that's going on with the federal government and Texas, all of these things in TikTok are going on right now where, oh, there might be a civil war or Texas might declare its separation from the U.S. and a country on its own.
mm-mm.
Um,
Can
I
they?
don't know.
They can do that. They can just say, "Okay, we're out," throw in the towel and leave.
I really don't know, to be
Or is that
honest with you. I
something to
mean,
be discussed?
that's definitely something to be discussed, and that's going to be like a huge battle because that's going to be a huge loss for the
Mm,
country as a whole.
mm,
You know,
mm, mm, mm.
the amount of oil that's basically found in Texas, yeah, the
All right.
business and the economic structure that's going on over there.
Mm, 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 mm.
Besides California, it's like again, Texas is right next to California as being the most affluent and uh, striving and growing state. The average median income in Texas is $63,000.
That's high, right? Above
That's
40.
that's huge. That's
Yeah.
huge.
It's funny that you guys think of the $63,000 annually, but here usually we think of salary in months. So that takes a lot of mental gymnastics for me. But listen,
Right.
before I forget, you were talking about your little Texas experience. You walked into a bar, little ding 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 ding, little
Yeah.
bell
Yeah.
rings, and then you walk in there. Guy turns around, says, "Oh, an Asian," and then like everybody's sort of uncomfortable, but they turn out to be friendly, right?
Right.
I was just thinking that if something like that happens here in the Philippines,
Yeah.
flip side of things, just comparing similar situations, somebody, let's say a foreigner walks into a bar here in the Philippines, everybody's heads will also turn, but people would say, "Hey, a foreigner, hey, come on,
Ah,
welcome,
come on,
sit over
join
here,
us.
no, sit over here. Kumain ka na?"
Right. Right.
everybody would be, yeah, where are you from? Blah blah blah, like that, and
Right.
then yeah. So that's
I think in a way that's exactly what I experienced in Amarillo. In a way, yeah. Everybody was just genuinely nice. There was kind of one gross thing. So that was the time where smoking was still allowed in a lot of places, right?
mm,
So the bar, the counter at the diner is split. There's a split right in the middle where the waitress walks in and out, right?
mm,
And when I said I was sitting on one side, I was, and I kid you not, there were two guys on the other side wearing cowboy hats. But
mm.
on each side is like a bowl, a giant
Ah.
bowl. Yeah. It's a spit bowl,
Uh-huh.
you know? And I've never seen that before. That was my first encounter in people dipping and spitting. And it was like, I was like, what the?
Yeah.
Dude,
They have something similar like that in Benguet, in the northern provinces. They also still chew tobacco,
mm,
so it's in your mouth. But the restaurant here near our place,
Yeah.
they have a spit bowl also. And but what's worse about it, which I guess I don't mind, and I actually appreciate that there's a garbage can right beside the table that we're eating on.
right.
But what bothers me, and there's like ashtrays also because they allow people to be smoking inside, which I guess I don't mind because it's their prerogative or whatever. But what I
Mhm.
don't like is that the ashtray from the previous customer and the garbage bin from the previous customer are both still there. They don't actually wrap it up and clean it and start from zero for the next customer.
Yeah, well, it
Except
kind of
for
makes
the
sense in
spoons
a
and-
way back then because it's a lot of work.
Except for the spoons and forks and the food,
Yeah,
the garbage bin and the ashtray are both still there. So
yeah. But
we're
to,
lost
to,
already. Let's
to,
go
to,
back
to
to
close it up,
Texas.
yeah, to close it
Yeah.
up real quick, it'd be a scary, scary, scary thought if Texas does, if that whole situation escalates and all of a sudden Texas says, sayonara, we're going to go up on our own. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's going to be a scary, scary thought because if force is and a force does happen over there and takes place, the federal government has to go in by force. It's not going to be a pretty picture. It is not. Do I agree with what Texas is doing in regards to putting up those razor wires? Actually, yeah, I do. Because it pisses me off in a way. And I know it sounds kind of crazy coming from a once upon a time immigrant who is now a U.S. citizen. We did things the right way. At least my family did. My dad did.
Mhm.
Migrated.
Yeah.
What? It's okay. It's all right. We got up. I mean, my dad did the work, and he did it the right way. Brought us here, lived the American dream, and it bothers us that the country is still spending millions and millions and millions of dollars providing for a lot of the illegal immigrants.
You know what I think Biden should have done? Your president, your president. He should have said, "Hey, why don't we go ask Texas first what they think it should be done?" Instead of just saying, like hopping over
On
You know what I
ordering it
mean?
down.
Like,
Right.
and ordering it down, like here, like dumaan ka muna sa barangay bago ka pumunta dun
Right. Right.
like you skipped over, like there is a state there,
You
and there
you
is someone governing it.
Exactly. You nailed it right there. The federal government should have allowed the state to govern it the way it should be. Or
Yeah,
at
or maybe-
least ask first. What do you
Ask-
think?
Just have the decency to ask,
Right.
or maybe they won't agree. At least have the decency to give them the opportunity to say no, and
Right.
then pretend like you'll fight about it diplomatically or whatever, instead of just putting your foot down and saying this is what we're gonna do. 'Cause
You don't know.
you're insulting the one that's governing that space.
Right, exactly. And then somebody in that kind of power as the governor and the federal government as well, of course there's going to be a power trip. No, but now nobody will know. What if the federal government just decided to set up a meeting, discuss that issue? What if he said, the government Abbott said, you know what? you're right. We'll compromise. Maybe
Yeah.
we'll section it out.
Right.
You
So
know.
right off the bat, there's animosity because you already skipped over the authority.
Mm,
You know what I mean. From level
exactly.
1, you jump to level 10 right away instead of
Right.
doing level 2, 3, 4, 5.
They basically undermined the governor
But
right there.
speaking of presidents, though, little
Yeah.
commercial break here in the Philippines. There's Marcos now. I don't know
Mm.
who started what first, but like and then there's Duterte. One of them said, I think Duterte said something like, I don't know, and Tin here is telling me that it's because they're getting ready for elections, so they're starting to talk crap at each other. But in the beginning of this podcast, a couple of months ago, I was saying that Duterte, Marcos is like uh, what's the word? Continuing the legacy of Duterte with so they're like
Right.
they're friends, right?
Right.
And but now there's this just recently a couple of days ago there was some quote that was said something like um what you call this like Duterte said something about Marcos being like like an addict, like a cocaine addict or whatever, right? Like
Oh
accusing him
God.
of that. And then Marcos says something like, "Yeah, well, at least I'm not a fentanyl addict." So now they're like pointing at each other on who's doing what. And both are neither confirming nor denying.
Right.
They're just like pointing.
Poking at each
So
other.
yeah, so one of the senators said like somebody accused you of something. Maybe you should at least like deny it or accept it and not
Right.
like point fingers or throw stones at the other person. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
it's that common decency of answer the question before you start accusing the other person of
Hold on. The presidential term is 6 years. He's only been there 2 years.
no something about Duterte running again. So there's like
He can't run again. It's in the law.
I don't know what the thing is, what it's all about, but there's just an assumption that somebody wants to run again. That's why they're starting to throw dirt at each other or whatever. But
But isn't
wh-
his
wh-
daughter the vice president?
yeah, I think so.
Right? You don't know who
Yeah.
your vice president is, really?
Yeah, it is Sarah.
Okay.
But I just wanted to just circle back around that idea of like jumping to the next level without
Correct.
addressing the first level. Yun
Right.
lang.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's all my 2 cents in regards to Texas. It is a scary idea. I don't agree with what the federal government's direction was. I agree
You
with
mean
you that they should have sat down, discussed it like men, and let the federal government allowing Texas to govern their own state properly and accordingly,
yeah.
and then just supported it. But with the wires or the kind of wires, it doesn't matter what kind of wires are up there. If you get caught, you get caught. You're screwed no matter what. You know what I mean?
So
I
bottom
agree
line
with it.
is
It's fine.
it's cheaper to take it down than to have people stand over there and be ready with band-aids and medical kits in case somebody
I guess.
or provide medical kits or some tools or whatever in case somebody does get stuck.
Right.
I
Right.
mean, that's like idiotic, right? I know it's a
Yeah.
stupid suggestion, but you know what I mean? Like really like your first idea is to cut it all down,
Right. Yeah.
right?
That just
Like
doesn't sound right. It doesn't
instead of
sound right.
saying like warning people have died here because that's what we have on our crosswalks where people do not jaywalk, people have died here,
Yeah.
as in literally in Tagalog it says, or in Filipino it says wag tumawid, may mga namatay na dito.
Right. Right.
So there's a warning. I mean, like first put up signs and then maybe have like those they have telephones on emergency bays on the freeway.
Right.
Maybe something like that on these barbed wires. Maybe they could put up like telephones, call 911 in case you get caught. Maybe not. Bad
I don't know.
idea. But you know what I mean? It's like they jump to like level 20 right away. We haven't
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
gone to level 1
So,
and taking it all out.
well,
Right.
with that being said, let us jump into the next one here that I want to talk about. Miss Japan is from Ukraine. What is going on with that, bro?
Yeah, so I was just scrolling through my feed like any normal Facebook person, and that's what came up last week that Miss Japan. Do you have the link to the article? We should actually like read it together. It's really short. But while you're pulling that up, I forgot
Mhm.
to mention a while ago about uh, we were talking about Texas being a different country
Right.
and uh, federal government, etc. Just a quick commercial break with the presidents that we were talking about a while ago. While you're looking for the Ukraine article, if you don't mind,
Right.
are you aware that there's this whole debate here, and I don't know who's on which side, and I could be butchering the whole issue, but bottom line is there's a proposal, and they call it the cha-cha. It's called the charter change. Ever heard about this at all?
No, I've never heard of it. All I know is cha-cha is a dance.
Yeah, so there's the government that we have here, like the type of democratic government. Do you know what it's called?
No.
Presidential or something like that. I'll be butchering it. I have no I know to talk about this. But before you get into that,
Yeah.
there's a proposal to change whatever government we have here in the Philippines now to turn it into a parliamentary type of government,
Mm.
which is the constitution.
Right.
That's why it's charter change, and it's this whole debate about updating it or changing it or whatever. I don't know who's on which side, if Marcos, Duterte, or both of them are on the same side or whatever. I don't really know the intricacies about the whole thing, but basically, it's a proposal to change it into parliamentary, which is like what they have, I think, in European and Australia. I think they have it that way too, right?
Right.
I was
Right. They do.
wondering if you wanted to take like 10, 20, 30 seconds to say anything about that. Because I'm not really caught up with it, but it's been going on for the past like 5, 10, 15 years already.
I haven't heard much of it, but I think for the Philippines, it might be a good idea. Why? It's hard for me to really. Well, it's hard for anybody in my position to give my opinion on something like that because, although I am Filipino, most of my adult life has been lived here in the States.
Mm-mm.
But still, I think the structure is needed.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
proper structure is needed.
So that's what we were talking about last week. How the Philippines is a lot like the U.S., etc., etc. And then I was thinking, this. It's interesting to look into because it's such a totally different way that you guys are running your government, and maybe, just maybe, parliamentary is the way to run it for us.
Well, see, that's the thing, though. It could cause two problems because being in the parliament, there's so many free opinions that's being
Yeah.
floated around here, around there. That's just the facts of that, and that's what causes the problem in regards to making laws or setting standards. Because individual opinion, sad to say, in human nature, it's hard to let go of your personal opinion, especially if it's something like that. It would have been nice if they look at the grander scheme of things, where Parliament would decide to just look at the issue as a whole in regards or relation to everybody's perspective, how it might benefit others, not just their opinion. I know it sounds kind of standoffish to say something like that, but from my experience, or not my experience, point of view, and from what I see, it's exactly what's going on. Too many opinions are being too singular instead of making an opinion as a whole. Now, on the good side of it, if they come up with a good when they do get into the same page on things, it could definitely benefit the country as a whole.
Yeah. Well, listen, I don't have too much of an opinion about that. I didn't want to take too much time talking about it. I just wanted to get you up to speed on, because that's probably one of the things that the candidates, presidential candidates, are going to be running for on the next election, and they're always bringing it up.
Right.
So it's always somewhere there where it's always being talked about. Like how you guys are always talking about. I don't know, your next big thing that you guys are going to do. That's one of the things that they're
right.
it's like tantamount to like stay in Iraq or leave Iraq. Parang for
Right.
us, it's like charter change or not. Listen,
So
before we run out of time, we should probably talk about Miss
Japan,
Japan or
Miss
Miss
Japan.
Japanese. I don't know if those are two different things, but
Well,
the
it's
latest
definitely different.
the latest winner. Maybe we should look at the article real quick. We're probably going to run out of time. I still wanted to talk about like the double yellow line here, but
Go ahead. Go ahead.
just real quick, if you could read, if you what
So
I think yeah, go ahead.
hold on.
I think in the first paragraph it already says everything about.
So your Ukrainian-born Carolina Shino breaks racial barriers to win Miss Japan crown, sparkling debate on what it means to be Japanese. Wow.
Yeah.
So from what it looks like here, 26-year-old. Why can't I read the rest of this? The crowning of Ukrainian-born model Carolina Shiino as the winner of the Miss Japan contest this week has triggered a social media debate on what it means to be or look Japanese.
Yeah, I don't know if you skipped a paragraph here, but it said the annual Miss Nippon contest, which takes it a little from the country's Japanese name,
Yeah.
awards the tiara to the contestant representing the foremost beauty of all Japanese women, according to the organizer's website. The decision
Right.
is to pick a winner with European heritage. The decision to pick a winner with European heritage has raised questions about beauty standards and what it means to be Japanese.
Right.
So yeah,
Right.
it's quite
Yeah, I did skip
quite-
that.
like
for some reason.
speaking of level 1 to level 10. That's another example of. I mean, I get it. I get like raising this. Opening the idea of what it means to be Japanese and everything, but couldn't we do like half Japanese a little bit first before we go to like all the way born and raised, right?
Well, yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think she was born and raised in. Well, I don't know if she was born and raised there. I thought she was born in Ukraine,
Yeah.
but raised in Japan.
So parang she was naturalized.
From based on the last name, the dad's probably Japanese,
But
but she does
yeah,
not
like,
have.
another example of from level 1 it goes to like level 10. It's like whoa, preno,
Yeah.
slow
Yeah.
down. Maybe we could like do like a half Japanese or.
That's the
'Cause
thing, though.
I know that Japanese make such a big deal about like if you're 100% pure Japanese or if you're like mixed kind of thing, diba?
Well,
That's,
yeah, because they're very strong in their culture in regards to 100% being Japanese. You know,
Oh, like pure, like a dog, like a purebred dog.
Right,
If,
right.
If it's more expensive if you have a purebred dog versus if it's a mixed mutt. Right.
unlike in the Philippines where somebody is half Filipino, half American, for example, they're widely accepted.
You
You
know,
know,
in Japan it's totally
In
different.
Japan, it's totally different. In the Philippines, there's like so many Filipinos and Filipinas that are half Filipino, half something else, and they thrive over there. You know, in Japan, on the other hand, culture-wise, it's very standoffish when it comes to something like that. Now, what do you think? I mean, do you think that this is a good thing of what's going on there? That they
That's my
actually
thing. I'm a bit taken aback. I'm not even any Japanese, but yun nga,
Right.
it's another one of those things where it's like, couldn't we have like gone like level 2 first before we went to like level 10? So that's kind of my opinion. I don't mind it.
right?
I'm not surprised. 2024, like open your mind kind of thing. But yeah, let like slowly.
Right.
Slow- I'm confused as it is.
But the grand
So-
scheme of things, though, I mean, I kind of see where Japanese might have some kind of surprise questions about it and whatnot
Yeah.
because of culture-wise.
I mean, the judges must
Yeah.
be Japanese, and I guess if they don't mind, I guess it's their thing. But
The reality of things is it's okay. To us, it's okay. It doesn't matter if somebody's half Japanese, half Ukrainian, half Filipino, half Arab, but it doesn't matter. In some cultures, they just like I know in Japan, there's a big thing where there's a lot of half Japanese and half Korean. And those people are getting the short end of the stick, basically.
But what's
It's
the
all
big
over
deal?
YouTube as well.
What's the big deal with her that she was born in Ukraine and not Japan?
I think it. Look at her.
No,
At
no, no.
first,
But
I know it's not that. I don't. I think it stems off. That's what it's coming down to now. But at initial reaction, looking at her, she doesn't look Japanese. Why would she be Miss Japanese? Right? She looks Ukrainian. I mean, I don't know what a Ukrainian person looks like or a woman looks like per se, but in this case,
yeah,
she does not look Japanese. So how
think-
I think that reaction boils down to everything else.
you think you're European, definitely not Asian. But listen,
Right.
We've run out of time already. But can we just spend like a minute to talk about this other topic that I wanted to bring up?
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you get to watch this one?
I did not actually, to be honest with you. Go ahead. Can you play?
Yeah. So this is. Let's change the screen real quick.
Where is this, in
Try
the
to make
Philippines
it
as
a
well?
little bit- Yeah. So there's audio, I think, and the guy will
Ah.
explain it anyway. But let's just play it real quick.
Right.
Share this with you. Where do I play it? You hear it?
No,
You can't hear it?
I can't hear it.
You can't hear? Okay. So
Are you sharing a page or a tab?
I'm sharing this video. But you can see what I'm looking at though, right?
I can
There's this
see it.
Yeah, there's this motorcyclist on in front of this car.
Right.
The motorcycle was overtaking, so he was counterflowing. And this car, this white car where we're taking the video from, where the camera is coming from, doesn't want to move because so they're head on like that. So usually when you're about to hit someone, you move to the other side, right?
Right.
But since the guy on the white vehicle has the right of way, he doesn't want to move. And then
Oh,
the motorcycle,
Jesus.
who's also not on the right side of the road, on the correct side of the road, he also does not want to move. That's why he's got his arms crossed.
Ano na yan
And
eh?
he's-
Pride na masyado yan eh.
And he's got his arms crossed like, I'm not
Yeah.
moving. I got the time of day. Not
Why-
going anywhere.
I understand what they're doing there, but why mess with your own life? You know what I mean? You're a guy in a motorcycle versus somebody in a truck or a car. Who's gonna win?
Right. Right. But it's not their lives. Their lives are not at risk. But
I mean, that's an ongoing problem in the Philippines, though. I mean, the motorcycles. They think that this is what I'm saying. They think it's okay to just cut through yung sa mga eskinita and whatnot,
So-
or trying to squeeze in. And then if something happens, it's not their fault.
what the narrator here is saying is that he must have done this already before, and most people probably don't stand their ground and don't stay in
Right.
that lane.
Oh,
So most people probably move to the side because he's like, I'm not going anywhere. And of course, like most of
Yeah.
the people will probably not waste their time doing a stand down with a motorcyclist.
right.
But what caught my attention with this video was just the funny idea that there's a double yellow line on where they're doing this at, meaning he's not even supposed to be crossing on the other side of the road
Exactly.
at all.
Right.
So yes, it's pride, and yes, but the thing is, you're already on the wrong side of the road. It's like
We talked about this a couple of
I know.
episodes ago.
that's what,
Yeah, right there, the
guys.
double line. I don't get it. Why does he have to cross over? See, that's his fault right there. This is the
Yeah.
stuff that causes traffic in the Philippines as well. Ang hirap na nga dahil ang daming kotse, ang daming sasakyan.
but yeah, so that's what the narrator was just emphasizing,
Oh
that
my
this guy
God.
probably has done it already before. He doesn't
Oh.
get in trouble. Nobody does like stands down and does a Texas hold up like this.
Right.
And they're both, so now he's like, yeah, go ahead, take a video of me. I got the time of day. I'm not going anywhere. And I just so from the usual road rage where somebody pulls out a gun, and this one, a little bit of comedy. So
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
I just found it ridiculously. I mean, just to give you an idea of, because we were talking about like what's causing traffic and what's blah 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 about the traffic here in the Philippines,
Right.
and then I wanted to give you an example. This is one of the reasons why, because
Right.
as I
That's
agree with
it.
what the
The
guy is
div-
saying.
Right.
Nah, the guy's probably done it before. He doesn't get caught, or he doesn't get reprimanded for what he's doing, and
Right.
now he feels like
He's
he has
entitled. He's the king of the
he's
road.
he's entitled to do what he's doing because
Right.
this is what I've been doing, and nobody's stopping me, and there's nothing wrong with it.
That's the thing too. It's human nature to act that way, because we all want to get our way and we all want to do what we want to do. Unfortunately, the world doesn't work that way. The world would work smoother, calmer, less traffic, even though there's a lot of volume, if you just follow better rules. Like this guy looks like he's like, yeah, I can sit here all this time and wait for you. But it's obvious he's in the wrong because he's in the other side. Stupid.
Can you
I don't get
imagine moving to the Philippines and having to face up and deal with people like this here?
Oh my goodness. I don't know. I don't know.
Make
I
sure
don't
if you
know.
move to the Philippines, move to an island somewhere.
Right,
Probably
right.
not Metro Manila, or maybe
Anywho,
Metro Manila. It's up to you if you want, whatever. But maybe this is not even Manila. I think this is like outskirts. This doesn't even look like a road in
well, I mean, it could be
Makati,
somewhere.
Metro
I don't
Manila,
know.
or what. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I just wanted to share that little lighthearted comedy sketch with you.
Nice, nice, nice. Well,
Never. The lesson with this video is never trust anyone with a maong jacket.
right.
You have a lot of guests, huh?
What? Wait, we have Tin is showing
Can you
me
hear?
that there's
No?
like, there's a guest.
Nothing?
Guest?
We have a guest on Facebook who's
No, that is a TikTok.
on TikTok. Somebody's looking at
Can-
you on
can you
TikTok.
hear it or
Can't
no?
hear you.
Nothing?
Can't
Nothing?
asking to be heard. Bye. It's not naliligo
Oh,
sa'yo
man.
yan.
I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, they can't hear us on TikTok.
No sound.
No sound.
Sabi nung ano,
Oh, no
sound.
sound.
Yeah, I
Or
know.
maybe
He
the-
just told me.
The
Thank you. Thank you. I'm trying to fix it.
Thank you.
no
Oh,
camera.
No
Yeah,
camera, no
sabi-
sound. I don't know. I'm busy doing a podcast here right now, and we're about to go and say goodbye and do an extra.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
Now is not the time to do this, please. Sorry.
What was that? Yeah, it's too late anyway.
Sa TikTok.
Later na. We don't have time for that anymore. Sorry. We'll talk to you in a second.
Yeah, sorry. Anyway, we are done for the day. Thank you very much for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, episode 117 is down. Next Sunday, next episode, we do have a guest.
Are we allowed to announce it already?
I don't know. I asked him, but he hasn't replied.
I don't want
But
to jinx it. Maybe
I'm
let's
not
say
gonna
who
jinx
it is. Who it is exactly, because I don't want
Right.
to put any pressure. I still want to give them the opportunity to miss out because
right.
they're busy with their travel plans.
Right.
But let's give them clues, ideas. We're talking to travel vloggers.
These are travel vloggers based out of the Philippines as well. These are, they're not married yet. That's a couple who actually not migrated, but moved to the Philippines from the U.S.
And they're getting married here, actually.
That's correct. This Sunday, check it out. It's going to be, again, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and 7:30 p.m. Philippines.
Sunday evening. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, guys. Thank you very much. I hope you guys would continue supporting us. Please like, subscribe, yada, 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 the whole shebang. Anyway,
That's it.
that's it. Episode 1. Bitin. Episode 17 down the drain. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And where is my extra? Right there. And we will catch you guys later. Again, this is The Flip Side with Jay and Noel. My name is Jay.
Name's Noel.
We'll catch you guys later.
On the flip side.
side. Thanks for tuning in. Catch us on the next episode, Sunday, 6:30 a.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Philippines.